So Tim Gudsall, originally from Kihikihi, been living in the United States this year. Before that he was in France and riding with a French pro team over there. And I believe that he's getting married in the next fortnight or so. So big changes coming up in Tim Gudsall's life.
Well, there's a fair bit of money up for a stage win, so he's obviously trying to reduce the cost of the wedding. But, it is, it's always a thrill to get a stage win. And as we spoke about last night, it's good to see him back and, with his health, sorted out. He's had a lot of injuries in his career, and he's showing us, the good stuff. He is a fantastic bike rider.
Many years ago for Sky Sport, we covered the junior tour from New Plymouth to Palmerston North. This fellow won that tour and he really, really impressed everybody, and there was a good crop of juniors came through that year, and Tim Gudsall was the star of the show.
Yeah, I think he's gone on to bigger and greater things even. To get a ride in Europe with a top European pro team like FDJ, that's very impressive. And unfortunately, crashes have really wrecked his chance there. But he's been picked up by Pure Black, and they've got a great program. They're targeting a lot of big races, and Tim's got his name out there again. And
I believe Pure Black next year are off to race in Spain, or base themselves in Spain.
Yeah, well, it would be great to see them over there, and really, that's where the hottest, cycling occurs. The big hotbed of racing, and really being able to tackle the European circuit.
Now, this is Carl Murray's camera, and we are further back down the road, and things are pretty desperate for these guys. They're about 6 minutes down, and still heading into Riversdale as we go back up to our race leader, our stage leader, Tim Gudsall, heading towards Gore. And look at that gear. He's got himself down over the top of the bars. He's in almost an aero position, and I don't think there'll be any more gears that he can select, because I would suggest he's in the little sprocket at the back and the big chain ring at the front.
Well, he's straightening up here, and there's a couple of wee rises, but they won't pose any problems, and then he'll head down towards the Croydon Lodge, and he'll be into Gore proper, and then he's into the town, and hey-ho. So he'll be wanting to just, really get into it, keep that gap going, and he's put that brake under quite a bit of pressure.
Back behind him we have a group of 7 riders. Just to remind you, we've got Jason Allen, Chris Masick, Mark Ryan, Shem Roger. Also in there is Josh Atkins, the tour leader, Glenn Chadwick and Paddy Bevan.
Well, he's confident, John. He's not looking around. He's just putting his head down, and as you talked about before, he's in the biggest gear he's got in that tailwind, and he's trying to make the most out of it.
One of the commissaires has a whiteboard and will be writing down the time gap, and that gap right now is around about 45 seconds as they come up towards as Tim comes up towards the 5k to go board.
Yeah, now back in that bunch behind him, they'll be starting to panic. As I said before, the people that are looking for the stage win, they won't know what to do, and they're going to have to start riding. And of course, Josh Atkins and Paddy Bevan, Patrick Bevan will be wanting to put Josh under a lot of pressure. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there as well. So yeah, I think there might be a wee bit of hesitation back there.
Tim Gudsall doing the business, trying to keep himself as comfortable as he possibly can. Have you ever been in this position in your cycling career where you've been away like this and think, by crikey, I'm going to win a big stage?
Well, I have been in that position, John, but it's usually out the back of a bike race, not out the front of it. So
yeah, I'm familiar with that too, but I'm just... Well, here we've got another group of riders out on the road, and this is the third group on the road, and there's Clinton Avery, and this is a pretty big bunch too.
Yeah, Paul Odland there, and it looks like Mark Langland, so and Alex Ray there, so some heavy hitters, and they are heading now around that hill and straightening up towards Gore as well.
So the cavalry is charging. They've all got the tailwind. It's been a busy day for them and a hectic day, 167 k's. You'll notice the roads are dry here, but it's still very windy, so changeable weather conditions today.
Yep, they, it's a feature of Southland at this time of the year, with the wind. You do get 4 seasons in one day, and these guys have certainly experienced it today.
Back with our race leader, Tim Gudsall. Around about 5 kilometres to go now for the man from Pure Black Racing.
Yep, no, Tim has he's pretty composed. You can see his arms look relaxed, his back's flat, and he's just putting all that drive through those legs and getting that big gear turning.
So Gutzel praying that this stage end will come rapidly for him, and it's not that far away, but after a big day like today you just want it to be over.
Yeah, well, he's on the outskirts of Gore now, so there's not that far to go, and he's really taken it to them, and it'll be interesting to see exactly how much time he puts into them by the finish.
Got the spinnaker up, getting all that tailwind. His team director Carl Williams will tell him all about the spinnakers.
You can also see a wee sensor on his front forks there, John, and back in the day you used to have the hardened volunteers with the stopwatches standing at the start and the finish, and nowadays it's all done electronically, so another feature there.
So this is another group on the road, and looking back at them, still they really just want to get this thing over with, these fellas.
Yeah, that's Tom Scully, one of the PowerNet team, and obviously a big day out for those boys today, and getting Josh Atkins into a really good position to hit the front of the race. But yeah, it looks like they're still racing here in the back bunch.
Well, one of them's a bit too keen for the rest of them, and he decides to have a crack, and Clinton Avery jumps across to his wheel in company with somebody else. So they're still racing. They're not just trying to get the way through to the finish and end the pain.
And that was actually Joe Cooper there as well, and it's great to see him get across to that bunch after he got caught out in the wind.
So coming up to a board that says caution cycle race, which means we're inside the last 5 kilometres and not too far from town, and we should see the 3K to go board or the 2K to go board very, very soon. As here's this third group on the road, and being led by a rider from the Southland Times.
Yeah, that's Andy Byte, and he's really come here and raced. He's a teammate of Jeremy Yates's, and Jeremy's obviously said, "Look, mate, come over here. I'll show you a good time. Down in the South Pacific, warm weather, good food,
just like in Turkey."
Exactly, and he'll be going home and thinking Jeremy's not much of a mate at all.
They've gone past the Croydon Lodge, and Gore is just around the corner. In fact, there's a big green sign that says Gore, 50 kilometres an hour or something like that. Yes, it is. So we're in town, and Tim Gutzel, now it's all about winning the stage, enjoying the moment, and trying to get as much back off Josh Atkins as he possibly can to move himself up on general classification. Remember, he went into the stage 2 minutes odd down, and he needs to make up as much of that as he possibly can. There's Andy Byte again.
Well, you saw the 50k an hour sign there, John, and I would suggest that Tim's going way faster than that. I hope he doesn't end up in any trouble, but they'll be touching speeds, as I said before, of well over 60 kilometres an hour, maybe upwards of 70 k's an hour.
Third group on the road, and look how quickly they've got away from what is now the fourth group behind them. And as they head up over the rise there, and 500 metres to go. That's all there is for Tim Gutzel between him and victory. Big crowd assembled here, all the blossoms being blown off the trees. It's been a terrible day for the weather, but a great day for Tim Gutzel from the Waikato, the man from Pure Black Racing. It's going to be their first stage win on this year's PowerNet Tour of Southland. Up to the line, and he'll enjoy this moment tremendously. He's back in a big way. Tim Gutzel wins the stage.
A blind ride indeed by the New Zealand.
I'm just really happy to have made the most of it.
You've picked up some time on Josh Atkins' lead. Do you think you can do anything about the rest of his lead tomorrow?
It's not over till the fat lady sings. We'll give it a crack tomorrow. I know Josh can time trial well, so tomorrow will be a good race. It won't be over until we reach Queen's Park, I imagine. To be honest, this is my first stage win at Tour of Southland. I've ridden this race many a time and done a lot, worn all the jerseys and everything, but I never won a stage show. This means a lot to me.
And how's your body feeling?
It's buggered.
Here are the results brought to you by Hunter Furniture. In 15 kilometres, Tim Gutzel puts 1 minute and 6 seconds into that very select bunch. Second place went to Jason Allen, third Chris Masick, Mark Ryan, and then Shem Roger.
Kind of have to pinch myself a bit. I never thought I'd be in yellow. it's I'm very proud to wear it, and it's it's all because of my team, really, though. I owe it to them.
But hard work.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And what were your team like today for you?
Oh, unbelievable. The boys sat on the front for 167 k's today, so 160 of it, and at times, I was even feeling the hurt when I was sitting sixth wheel. So they did awesome.
So the big mover, Tim Gudsall, putting himself within 1 minute and 5 seconds of leader Josh Atkins. Patrick Bevan and Chris Masick are very nearby, and then Shem Roger at 2.5 minutes.
For me, the tactic was to go out there, try and put the yellow jersey team on the ropes, and try and set it up for either myself or Chris Masick.
Jeremy, how disappointing can it be when you throw everything at a guy like you did today and come up with very little results?
I don't know, it's not disappointing. I mean, disappointing would be to sit in the bunch and not try, so when I saw the big storm cloud blowing in, I thought, here's a tactical opportunity to try and get away. We had hail and wind and all sorts, and that can be real discouraging for the bunch chasing. So I was trying to rely on the weather a little bit to benefit myself. Unfortunately, the hailstorm passed and we got back into the sunshine.
That's